Hi, I read this and I have a lot to say about it. Are you ready? Great. Okay, so in the book, airships enable interplanetary travel during the early 19th century. Arabella, the protagonist, is quirky. She's not like other girls. She's 17, she's assertive, she likes to wear trousers, and she was born and raised on Mars. So Arabella's cousin Simon wants to murder her brother Michael so that Simon can gain the family's inheritance. So Arabella disguises herself as a dude. She finds employment on a ship that's traveling from England back to her home on Mars so that she can warn her brother Michael before Simon arrives. The story itself is sick, with a severe case of young girl written by a man-itis. My suspension of disbelief can happily accept the concept of wooden ships traveling through outer space, because that's freaking cool, but not a 17-year-old girl having a romance with a grown adult man. And it's so badly written. Let me give you an example. There's a space battle, right? For context, a space battle in space. A space battle. It's pretty cool. And we're talking men getting massacred. It's a terrible, terrible thing. Arabella witnesses all of it. She is right there in the middle of the action. She witnesses a dude getting impaled by a broken plank of wood, floating in anti-gravity, bleeding out all over the place. He's screaming for help. People are dying left and right. 14 people die during this battle. And these are men she's bunked with, that she's eaten with, that she's worked with. After the battle, the surgeon's got his work cut out for him. See what I did there? See what I did? But amputations have to be made, people have to be stitched up, and we're talking arms floating everywhere in anti-gravity, because the bodies that they were attached to are currently unconscious or screaming helplessly. Personally, not that anyone asked or cares, but me personally, I would have nothing but a 1,000-yard stare for 9 days and nights. But Arabella, her stare is on the captain, who is conveniently injured and knocked unconscious, and she is conveniently tasked with looking after him during his recovery, and that's all she can think about. None of this is mentioned again! Because you know what? Girls just don't have trauma. We don't even think about it, bro. We're too tough. Man, I just had the most horrible experience of my life. My leg got cut off after a really bad fight. Oh, really? Too bad. Maybe if you weren't such a wimp, you too could develop an unhealthy obsession with some dude who reminds you of your dad.
You're not my dad!
Okay, but here's the thing. As a person, Arabella is all right. She's driven, she's motivated, she's courageous, she's very intelligent. She disguises herself as a dude and takes a huge risk to save her brother's life. When a crewmate harasses her and eggs her into a fight, she beats the guy up so badly that another crew member on the sideline has to tell her to stop. As a character, she could be worse, but the author's writing style has so many problems. Here's another thing. When her disguise is revealed, and she's revealed to be a woman, she immediately reverts back to the gendered sexist stereotypes that she spent the first part of the book hating with every fiber of her being. Boy, I hate sexism. Screw the rules. I'm gonna wear pants. Being a man sure is different. I hope I get to Mars safely, but I'm kind of enjoying myself. Oh no, my disguise. Time to submit to sexism. And to clarify, she's not happy about it. Like, her spirits sink considerably when the captain and the crew members start to treat her with cold discomfort when they find out she's a woman. She's not enjoying this development, but she puts up little to no fight about it. She tells off this really disgusting, obnoxious dude for making a disrespectful comment. The captain disapproves of her outburst. She catches his facial expression and she immediately tucks into herself. She humbles herself and she apologizes to the dude that she just had very good reason to tell off. There is a single sentence that describes when she realizes how someone's expectations can change your behaviors, which is valid. That's just basic sociology. However, there is too much built up around her character for the author to just drop it. She forgets about her personality in much the same way that she apparently forgot about the massive space battle that killed 14 of her crewmates. I guess the captain is just that hot or something. I can't really tell, he doesn't have much of a personality. But I have to admit, it is quite a privilege to witness such a terrible, terrible take on the woman disguises herself as a man trope. That reminds me, you want to know what pairs really well with the badly presented theme of sexism? The badly presented theme of colonialism. Oh my god. Now mind you, I said Arabella's character could be worse, and that she was alright. I did not say that she is amazing. Arabella isn't racist. She just supports her family's plantation. and differentiates savage Martians from the good ones, and thinks it's specifically romantic that her crush used to be a member of East Indian royalty and privately refers to him as her Maharaja. So Arabella arrives on Mars, right, with the crew and her captain, and they find that a massive conflict has started between the indigenous Martians and the English colonizers. Because, and this is important, the Martian queen's firstborn egg has been stolen. The Martians know it was a white guy who did it, but they don't know who yet. All they know is this is a serious, savage crime that has been inflicted on their entire race. So, yeah, they're angry. And the white people are like, oh my god, what are these weird crab people doing? Why are they shooting at us? Ew. And the Martians are framed in the writing as the savage ones. They are the ones who are framed as bloodthirsty and aggressive and primitive, all because of this weird rule that was broken. Oh my gosh, what went on? And Arabella is the only person who can resolve this issue because she's the only one who understands Martian culture. It's kind of like Pocahontas, except instead of Alan Menken's excellent songwriting to compensate for the atrocious historical bungling, we have a mildly interesting fantasy story that was written by an award-winning author? How? I don't know. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Arabella finds out her cousin Simon was the one who stole the egg because he wanted to frame her brother Michael. Remember that family inheritance plot? Yeah, I kind of forgot about it too. It's okay, I don't blame you. Anyway, Simon didn't realize that the Martians would be so touchy about, their baby prince being stolen from his crib. But he didn't actually want to harm the egg in any way, so he hid it in the desert. But he hid it incompetently. The sand was not the right temperature, so the prince died. And of course, when the Martians find out, they are livid. They are absolutely furious. Kima, Arabella's childhood nurse, is a Martian, and I like her as a character. She's really cool, but the author writes her to serve as an apologist for her own race, because the whole time she's going, I'm so sorry for all of this violence. There is ill will on both sides. Now, if that doesn't rub you the wrong way, this probably will. There is a part in the book where she literally says, we are civilized because we follow English customs and English law. We're not savages. Here's another kicker. There's a mention of the early days of colonization, when relationships between the English and Martians had been unsettled. The careless way the author writes about colonization and imperialism gives me the ick. Ah, yes, these natives are weird and gross, but at least the civilized ones have recognizable rules, and the one white person who understands them gets to swoop in and save the day, because she doesn't see color. So yeah, overall, white guy writes about colonization and fails massively. Adult white man writes about romance between teenage white girl and adult brown man and fails massively. To the author's credit, I do love the creativity of the concept. I just like airships. The science is very well explained, and the language itself is elegantly immersive and really pulls me into the time period. He just tried to present themes and talk about them while providing very little discussion of value. It's a 3 out of 10. We're done here. I have to edit this.